WIBTAH if I didn't go to my best friend's birthday party. Advice needed. So, for some context, I, 25 nitrogen monoboride, have a best friend, let's call them Andy, 24 nitrogen monoboride. We've been best friends since high school, and while we've had some bumps in the road over the years, nothing too extreme has ever happened between us. We both have also known my boyfriend, let's call him Daniel, 25M. Since high school, he and Andy had a lot of common friends, and I later joined his friend group through a common friend that we had. As far as I know, and keep in mind that this is a decade that I've known both these people, Daniel has never given Andy any reason to dislike him, and yet they always have. Even going so far as to spread a rumor that he was a drug user and an addict, and trying to convince the person he was dating at the time, not me, to break up with him. Now I also want it to be noted that I also dated Andy before I dated Daniel, and while Andy and I ended on what I thought were okay terms, when I started dating Daniel our friendship had basically fizzled out completely. After a couple of months, Daniel and I broke up, and I never properly repaired my friendship with Andy. Fast forward to 2019, Daniel and I had reconnected at college and got back together, and have been ever since. Fast forward to 2020, and I receive a letter, yes, an old school letter with a stamp and everything, from Andy saying that they miss me and want to reconnect, and I agree. I tell them that I'm back with Daniel, and while they're not thrilled about it, they seem to be supportive. We even had a couple of double dates with their girlfriend at the time. One of them being where they came to his house and he cooked them dinner. During these dates, the two of them had long conversations, and Daniel and I thought that the high school hatchet had been buried. Fast forward to last week, Andy's having a birthday party at their apartment. Andy lives in a city 2.5 hours away from mine. They invite me, and I tell them I would love to go, and innocently ask that I bring Daniel. Not that I'm the type of person who can't go anywhere without my boyfriend, but A, I don't drive, so I would need a way to get there, and B, I didn't think it was too insane of an ask because last we all hung out we were on great terms, or so I thought. Andy then says that they need to think about it and that they'll get back to me. An hour later, I am basically interrogated over text with questions like, what name and pronouns does Daniel use for you, SND what relationship title. Because last we hung out, he was misgendering you a lot, and I wanna assess safety for the other gender queer people that are gonna be coming. Which is a valid question, because Andy and I are both non-binary, and that was a concept that Daniel, who is cishet, did struggle a bit with in the beginning, but he has since gotten the hang of it, and is super respectful to all LGBTQ+ people he meets. I tell them this, and they decide to tell me no anyway and say they'll pay for me to take a train to the party alone. Now at the end of the day, this is their party and they are allowed to invite or not invite whoever they want. That's their right, that's not the issue. My issue is that Daniel has been nothing but kind and respectful to them. He invited them into his house, cooked him a meal, and the whole time they smiled, let it happen, and was super nice to them and let both him and I think that everything was cool and that they were friends. So for them to turn around and say that they don't feel safe having him at their party just doesn't sit right with me. And now I'm seriously re-evaluating the entire friendship. Am I wrong for feeling this way? Would I be the arsehole if I didn't go to the party? Also, before you ask, Daniel is aware of the entire situation and had explicitly said he doesn't mind either way, but I do also feel like I'd be disrespecting him if I did go.